All righty, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to Autonauts 300 bot limit run, and we'll be continuing on. So, last episode we set up most of the framework for moving the little munchkins over to the next level. So, they're currently at stage 3, we're going to move them on to stage 4. For that, we need the log cabins, which we've already built, and they also need food and clothing. So our next level of food is going to be stewed berries, which we've already got the clay pots for, and the spiced berries, and we just need to set up a station down here to get the fresh water and sort of move it up. And then the last thing we need is going to be the clothing. So if we have a look over here, and I believe the clothing that we're going to go for, because this is the thing, in settlement mode you've only got one choice, and in enlightenment mode you've got 3 or 4 different choices. So our one choice is bulrush cloth, which is fine because we've got bulrush down here. It's beautiful. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. We just need water and a clothing setup using that bulrush, and then we can finally get these guys whacked in their house. And I'm actually going to move them over now because, well, what I like to do is I like to just get them out of the way because it's very hard to... I didn't actually pick one up. Now the problem with these little guys is that they do, they still maintain their meters, which is not too great because it's fine at this point because we've stopped feeding them, because I think the colonist feeder, yeah, he automatically stops working when this chest is full. So therefore we don't have a problem. But if you had kept working, then as soon as you guys take these guys off the housing and just put them off to the side, they start spitting out the level 1 love, and suddenly you've got level 10 love over here, and you're starting to produce level 100 love, but now you've got this level 1 love, and you just kind of have to either throw it in the bin or you start throwing it in the research, and then it's just kind of a bit funky. So we've still got enough room to put these guys on a single row. That's not going to last too much longer, but for now it's fine. I will just check all of our colonist bots. Yeah, we're going to need a different home fixer anyway, but this guy is fine. But yeah, he's going to need to use slightly different processes. We'll leave these guys out for now because I don't want them being fed, or I don't think they would be fed because the food is the wrong level. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's get some stuff going. Alright, give me a few of those please, a few barrels. We'll get those lined up. We'll have a quick... I think I was actually doing... yeah. All of this stuff was required for cloth. And we didn't really get much of it made because our panels completely crashed our wood market. So the poles were very, very okay. They were doing great until we started making planks, and then the poles completely fell over. So... I don't know. I won't make a panel builder bot yet, but I am thinking about it. I'm definitely thinking about it. If we start to need a lot more required for it, then I will make one. But yeah, I definitely feel fine with these being automated though, with these being fully automated, because we definitely will need a lot of them. Okay, so we need 6 of those. As you can see, that one takes walls as well as floors. So we should start getting those sorted out as well. We've got a decent amount of flooring here. I'll get a bit more, just to be on the safe side. I'm not sure exactly... Yeah, see, these are not quite in the radius. So we'll put them here. And we also need some walls. I usually use dry stone walls because they look just a little bit nicer. And well, how's our stone storage? Okay, let's not do dry stone walls because our stone is looking terrible. I mean, we only got one stone miner, so it's no surprise. Bot database. Okay. Alright. Let's get you to be another stone miner. Once again, I wish you would just automatically put it in the group, but that's fine. And let's just go for... Hopefully we won't need too many of these. And that should be enough. Alright, where we need 2 more square frames, and then we're good to go. Oof. And then this bloody threshing machine, which just seems to take all sorts of crazy ingredients. Move this over here. Oh no, it's the thing, isn't it? Did I could have sworn I built a spare one of these. I did build a spare one. Alright. Give me some of this flooring back. No, we get a crank. Oh, of course it requires poles. There we go. Steal them from the bot. And yeah, I think it's these... Yeah, square frames require 4 poles, so... They're definitely using up a bunch, and then... I guess a lot of them... As soon as the poles get put in the storage, they just get moved across to make the fixing pegs, alright. And then we just need a good gear. I think the good gear requires a new building that we haven't made yet. We should... There it is. A little... Oh, look at this thing. Another machine with a million different wacky ingredients. So we need another crank. I had to steal more poles off these poor bots. Thankfully, they're quite slow at picking them up. Now, see, this is 86. So even if we put a second frame saw, converting planks to poles, all that would mean was that this would start crashing a lot more. So it should... Planks are full. As soon as square frames get full, this setup should start stabilizing itself, assuming we don't put any more pressure on it. We'll have to see though. What do I need again? Oh, my memory is so crap. Crude blade. Oh, we got 2 just sitting there on the pile. Let's just grab one of those. Ooh. Sorry if I feel a bit tired. It's because I am. It's been a very, very hectic week. I'm moving in a couple of weeks, so I've been doing a whole bunch of packing, work, and yeah, so I definitely just need a sleep. All right. This guy hasn't got planks yet because the builder for planks is just taking his sweet time. He's probably busy doing all this flooring and barrels and stuff. And let's just help him out a little bit. All right. So you just need good gears, and there we go. Come on, one more. There we go. And we'll put a couple more there. Evolve Lumberyard. Very nice. Does that actually give me anything? No. Are you kidding me? Evolve Lumberyard requires square frames and blah blah blah, and all they get you is a variant on a Mark 1 bot. That's, I mean, to be fair, we are using Mark 1s at the moment. Of course you require a panel, that's just, of course. Yeah, but there we go. And those of you who've seen my previous video will know that I am taking my previous advice of, if you have to make something, just automate it because you'll need it later, and just throwing it completely out the window. But whatever, I really want to get the next level of science going this game, and then once it's going, then I can be like, okay, we can start to move on from here. Yeah, stone is going to get hit quite hard, but that's right. Let's go ahead. We'll do a freshwater storage up here. It's a bit far away from the fresh water. We could move it down. We could put it in the middle. I don't want to have one up here and then another one down here, because it's probably going to be over the top. But we'll have just one, and then we'll move it up and down depending on how full it is or how empty it is. Alright. Now buckets last quite a long time. So we'll just use this for now. And we may have another bucket storage later on. If hands empty. Okay. Now we don't want this because this is swamp. You can actually pick up swamp water, I think, which we definitely don't want. So we'll pick this up and then we'll put it in here. And this is a perfect example of where you want a path. From this spot to this spot, put a path too wide. Repeat until held object full. And we want to repeat so that later on when we've got buckets with like 3 quantity in them, or 5 quantity, or whatever, held object empty, then they'll just keep filling it up until the bucket's full. Alright. Fresh water. Actually, we just call it water collector. There is seawater, which I suppose becomes salt water, but we never actually use it for anything, so it's kind of irrelevant. Don't really need to worry about it too much. Okay, so that'll give us the fresh water. And yeah, we're going to follow the same pattern. We're just going to have one crude cooking pot, and we're going to have different bots coming in and actually doing stuff. We could get rid of the spiced berry storage. Here's the problem with calling it SB maker, because we've gone from spiced berries to stewed berries. So it's another SB. So whatever, it's a pain in the ass. But I'm going to have separate robots for these guys. Maker pots. Alright, let's just go through and start making this. So our clay pots are over here. And I realise I probably should be getting onto the cloth thing, because the cloth thing is taking quite a while. But it will take quite a while, but I'm getting distracted, and whatever. It's my stream, I'll do what I want. So you are just stewed berry maker water. You will need a bucket. And I'm getting a ping. That's my work computer. I'm going to close it, but oh, whoops, I forgot to hit the damn thing. Alright, there we go. If hands empty, then all we do is we do exactly the same thing. except from the storage. If we put cooking down here, we wouldn't even need a storage in the middle, but until held object full and until held object empty. And when we have buckets that have like 3 storage in them, this guy will just stand here and it'll just keep putting the fresh water in until it's completely full. And later on you even get metal buckets which store 5 things in them. So unlike in my enlightenment mode where I went to good buckets but I never bothered going for metal ones, in this playthrough we'll probably go for the highest level of everything fairly quickly because it just increases efficiency and we'll need that efficiency. Alright. I'll keep this storage for now. I don't know. Alright, there we go. That's not a confusing name in the slightest. So we go here, repeat until our hands are full, until our hands are empty, and then this is the one where we're going to stop if it's full. Actually, I'll put that there. And stewed berries store. Okay, hold up a sec, let's go. Yeah, no, okay, I see what I did there. That's alright. We need to actually fuel these pots. If we don't fuel them, then they don't cook. Alrighty. So, why is this taking so long? Okay. Repeat until hands full. Repeat until hands empty. There we go. Hey! Excellent. There's another certificate. Ooh, canoe. Canoe is actually nice. Well, it's kind of nice, because when you get a canoe, you can actually go out into the water, which is nice if you're one of those people who just hates having grey areas. So you can get the canoe, you can go out on the water, and you can make the entire map not grey anymore. Yeah, which is nice. Alright. Okay, now your job is going to be to put these into there. Okay, and that is the next level of food done. And then the frog feeder is going to basically go here instead. Thank you. And we do actually need to redo this because it's currently going to crude huts and we need it to go to log cabins. Alright, hold up a sec. Oh, stop. We need to actually dump one of these little people on there. Alright, frog feeder. Oh, okay, thank God Control Z works. I just deleted the outside loop. Alright. Log cabin, hungry folk, and we'll actually drag the other two because I have had some situations where for some reasons it just didn't work. That's going on the wrong storage, but it doesn't matter. When we empty out this storage, we will reset it to store the 100 WAV in it instead, and that will be fine. I can't upgrade you yet, can I? I need to... It's actually kind of a catch-22 because you need to generate a certain amount of love from these new guys before you can upgrade the research bench, but the research bench is not going to be updated because this guy's not feeding anybody because blah 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 blah. Thank you very much for another. Ooh, we got gates and stuff. Go away. Go away, I'm trying to get stuff done here. Stage 4 shelter complete. It's just giving me achievements all over the place. None of which I need or care about anymore. None of them unlocked it. No, they didn't. We actually have to generate hearts from these guys. So, we need clothing. How are we doing over here? Alright, it's a bunch of these, which is excellent. Pretty much, that might be enough to set us over here. So, okay. We got our scythes over here. Now we're just going to do a quick double check. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. For our clothing. So togas go in a chest. This goes in a not chest. What's that called again? It's just a thing. It goes in a chest. That goes in a chest. That goes in a chest. And that goes in a thing. Okay, so that's quite a lot of different chests that we need. And we need a few more of these. That's right, we can just put down single chests for now. Cereal seeds, okay. So we're going to put the stems in here. Let's just move it over a tiny bit. Look at this guy getting the water. It's currently 0, so we can either get another guy moving water or we can do something else. Move the water thing further south, or we could just ignore it until we get good buckets and then that'll make it a whole lot better. Okay. Brush cutter. I'm not putting spaces in between these names, am I? Not normally, I don't think. Alright. Beautiful. If hands empty. That's kind of a decent radius. I'll move it down here. So it covers this top right swamp. And that should be fine. Okay. Repeat until full. And then we gotta drop this off again, so it's not just sitting in my hand the whole time. Right. We kind of need this one straight away. But of course, if we move this over here, does it get done quicker? Maybe. Depends how their algorithms work. Alright, we got rid of that scythe. I keep wanting to say scythe, but it's definitely scythe. Alright. Oh, let's just call it stem collector. Damn it. And we'll do it like that with a nice little gap because the stems will sometimes fall to the side in a hands full, and this cutoff means that if you've only got 3 in your hand and you want 4 and there's no more, that it'll just escape out of this loop. Which I like to do for things that you're picking up off the ground that there may not be an even number for. Alright. Come on. Oh, buddy. Get one of... Can you please get one of these done? Just like one of them. Would be really nice. Okay. I'll move that one off. Delete that one. Okay, now we can put that one down here. Alright. And these are... I know calling it seed collector is a little bit abstract because there's probably a whole bunch of different seeds, but... Actually, you know what? I'm going to call it bulrush seed collector. Because otherwise it's going to end up in the bot database and I'm going to want to copy it and I'm going to have 17 different seed collector bots and I'm not going to know which one I actually want to have copy. Alright. Okay, and then... Chill hands full. Find nearest swamp in here. So it's always the cutter that gets cut off when you've got too much, and then you end up with just basically bulrush everywhere, and it's fully grown and it's just sitting there waiting until you need the stems. Okay. Let's have a go now. Let's actually start getting the processing done. Now we need a threshing machine. F to swap it. And then we need to work on the spinning wheel. And that requires an actual wall. So we'll give that one a bit more space. Just a bit more space. And then thank you. Oh, Bulrush Farm. Thank you for another commemorative interruption to my playthrough. Alright, there we go. Makes me think, if we go if you go right to left, you end up with a chest over here, which is a very far distance away from there. I kind of want to just go south. Alright, I'm going to go over this way. We're going to go south to north. These rocks are kind of in the way, but they won't be in the way forever. We will knock those rocks out pretty decently. Ah, berries. Why is it always that there are just berries? Always in the way. Okay. I'm going to move you over there. That's not too far away. That's still decently within the right range. Now what we can actually do here is we can have kind of a zigzag sort of thing going on here. So it goes there, and then it goes there, and then it goes there, and then it doesn't zig back the other way because we want it to be over here. It's going to be a little bit weird, but it'll work out. Good afternoon, Rosman. Thank you very much for the comment. All right. You can tell I'm pretty crappy at this streaming thing because as soon as I see a comment, I'm like completely lose track of what I'm doing. All right. Here's the thing that really annoys me. Every time I make a new build, there's always a berry bush just sitting there. It's just like, hey, why are there berry bushes absolutely everywhere? Just like have a clump of berries in one place, like here, just have a clump in one place and then you don't have to worry about them anymore. I used to carry a shovel everywhere and I stopped doing that. Let's just pop those off in there. I'm not even gonna, or maybe I will bother. I got some terrain up here so I can clean this up. Alright. Alright, so we'll move that up there, move that up there, and then we'll move this one over here. Adds wonky as all hell, but it's good for transportation. Okay, so you actually require some wood. You require wood and walls. So we're going to do this. Here's a hint. If you put a wall out here and then here, sometimes they join up, sometimes they don't. I think if you put the door down after the wall, then it doesn't always join up. But if you put the wall down last, let's do a test actually. So we put the wall here, and you put the door. See, it didn't curve around. It's just sitting there. So you've got to put the gate down first, and then the wall, and then it automatically turns in the corner. All right, done. Let's make sure we got our recipes correct. Bulrush fiber, which goes into a chest, I'm pretty sure. Bulrush thread, and then this takes the bulrush thread and makes bulrush cloth, and then we make a toga. And I've actually got the wrong thing here. I need a pallet. That's what this is called, a pallet. I need a pallet right over here, and then we're going to have a chest with togas in it, right next to this sheep, this annoying little sheep. Okay, and we're still going pretty good on the bots, so I think I'm going to do my normal method of creation, which is going to be one bot to make it and one bot to store it. I don't think we need to go into one bot to make it and store it yet. And it's a research product. It's required for research, so we definitely do want it to be fast. If it's a tool or if it's something we don't really care about, like robots, we can allow it to be a little bit slower. But for research, always try and get that extra little bit of speed. So I'm actually going to start calling it bee fiber maker. Thankfully, these are all one hit requirements. Alright, you're just one ingredient, which makes it very easy, and also means that it's not going to take a lot of bots. Repeat until okay, I'm losing my mind a bit. Maybe it's not a good idea to be streaming on a weeknight when I work 40 hours a week. Maybe it's just not, but whatever. Unfortunately, there's only 2 days on the weekend, and I could do like Saturday and Sunday, but I like to spread it out. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. All right. There we go. All right. B thread maker. Press X to go back to your normal location until hands full. And there we go. Until hands empty. Until not empty. Alright, and then yes, there's a lot of steps, but they're all extremely simple. Okay, beautiful. Put that right there. What's the next step? Bee cloth maker. Okay. Hands full and hands empty. Oh, no. Repeat until I want to do it properly, otherwise we'll come back here in an hour and there'll be a pile of cloth a mile high. And bee thread storer. Alright. I don't know how many people watching this actually saw my 40-minute, 50-minute long rant on Autonauts and why I didn't like it that much. Well, I kind of like it, but it's a grindy game. And this is one of the reasons, this is one of the main reasons why it's a grindy game, because you say, okay, I've got to do this, and you plan it out and it takes you a few minutes, and then you just got to program all these bots. It's just like, ugh, so many bots. So many bots, and you just got to go through and you got to say, all right, you do this, and then you do that, and then you do this, and blah, 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 blah. And it's just... It's like, there's like 10 bots in a row where I just have to say until hands full, until hands empty, blah, 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 repeat until not empty. And it definitely feels like I'm just kind of like, yeah, I got to get through this, and once I get through... It's like when you're eating a steak dinner and you've got to go through all the beans. It's like, all right, we'll get through the beans and then we can do the fun stuff, which is actually figuring out what we do next, which is planning and, looking, researching, all that sort of stuff. But before we get to all the fun stuff, we have to eat all the beans. All right. There we go. Toga, Stora... It was only 8 bots, not including the Bull Rush ones, but... Okay, it was only 8 bots, my bad. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Rossman. Get monkey see, monkey do programming. So in that case, you would basically have like I'm guessing a templated robot, and basically you would say, okay, grab the template, repeat until hands full, blah, repeat until hands empty, blah, and then you would just go in and you just say, okay, select this machine, change that, select this storage instead, select that storage instead, so on and so forth. Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be better. Because then you're selecting a bot, and then you still have to go through all 8 bots, and you still have to manually select all of the chests and all of the machines that you want them to go on. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Clothing. Please don't tell me I have another. I do not have a clothing. Alright. We'll see how we go the rest of this episode. If I have another opportunity where I have to make a whole bunch of these robots, I'll give that a shot and see how well it goes. It kind of does slow down a little bit because this guy has to wait for a whole bunch of cloth, but it's fine. I got no problem with that happening. Alright, so now we're at the end of that chain, and we can actually get a folk clother. Alright, repeat until Hansel, and yeah. So that's the interesting thing. I've been playing this game for so long that it just automatically start creating it like that. Which is, yeah, the one I do, if I just have to do one, it's just like, don't even have to think about it. It's just done. It's only when I get to the 6th one that I start to be like, oh god. Alright, so that's pretty much it then. Folk clother number 5. Alright. Now, these guys should start producing level 100 love, and then we can upgrade the research station. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start... Some of you guys have been fed. A lot more of you should have been fed. Where's the folk feeder? Oh, he's turned off. Okay. I don't really want to mess with that guy, so let's just go and feed some of them. And get them to produce a little bit of love. Okay, we just need... So we need 3 more for that. And I think once we do all of these, both of these, then it will let us actually upgrade the research station. And then once we upgrade the research station, we can start to work through all of these times 10 loves. And then we can reset it back. Alright. Thank you very much. Stage 4 clothing complete. And we just need 1 more folk fed. And I really don't like calling them folk, because folk is a very, very hard word to say. It's a very annoying word to say. Alright. Thank you very much for another commemorative slab. Stage 4 complete. Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you. Alright, stage 4 done. It's funny how it thinks I'm ready for stage 5 when I've literally done 0 research. Prepare to... What do you mean prepare to automate a village? It's already automated. Okay, whatever. Yeah, look at all this. Look at all of this stuff. You're already getting into the metals. I don't think you need metals for the next... Maybe for some of the buildings you need metals, but whatever. Alright, thank you. Finally. Oh, rough stone blocks. Damn it. I didn't think we needed rough stone blocks this early. Well, at least our woodworking has fixed itself up. The poles are full, the pegs are full. I knew it. As soon as these two backed up, we'd be fine. Alright. I'm just going to make this myself. I can move this over and get the builders to do it. Actually, no. You know what's an even better idea? I'm going to grab the sign and move the sign over. Well, it's a moot point, because whatever you call it, it's still only going to have 5 guys in it, so at the end of the game is going to be calling it a city, and it's still going to have just 5 guys in it, so yeah, joke's on them. Alright, so that will take... Well, that's already taken care of the log. My crude gear... That'll take 5 seconds. And then we need to get rough stone block. And since we're setting up rough stone blocks, I could just get a chisel and I could just carve off 1 block. But I think I'll actually get a proper setup for rough stone blocks, because getting rid of these blocks will make construction a lot easier, because we're trying to make a very tight, constrained base, and these rocks need to go. And these rocks need to go as well. But we might as well start working on them now. The buildings make the difference. I guess so. I guess so. I mean, if you have 5 mansions in the middle of nowhere, does that constitute like a large town? Maybe. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm a very argumentative person. Maybe I shouldn't be... I like, somebody tells me something, I just like to argue with it. It's a very bad character trait that I have. And it's probably not good for somebody who does streaming, because I'll go to be completely honest, I just love playing games, and the main reason I'm streaming is so that I can constrain my game playing to a certain amount of time, because otherwise I just play too much. So I'm just like, alright, I'll stream instead, and then I can have, you know, I can just stream instead, and then I'll only play for 2 hours instead of playing for like 20 hours, and then it's fine. And then the byproduct of that is people actually watch my videos, and they start giving me advice, and I'm just like, oh god. Now I have to be a streamer. Now I actually have to engage with people. And I was not expecting that at all. But it's all good. Thank you very much for all the comments. And if I do turn into an argumentative asshole, then just, yeah. I would say I'll try and do better, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go with that. Having said that, you did tell me to use the... Did you tell me to use the bot database? I can't remember. I think you probably told me to use the bot database like 20 times already. And it's kind of... It's slowly sinking in. So, anyway. Let's get ourselves a chisel. Let's go over here, actually. I like to have these machines so I can just see. Alright. Alright, we can make... So we need another good workbench. This is going to be a pattern, obviously. It's going to be me acting a little bit like an asshole, and then apologizing, and then getting flushed, and then completely forgetting what I was doing in the stream. But look at it this way. On other streams, I've accidentally muted myself for 10 minutes in a row, so already we are doing better than the average stream. Okay, so that's got everything it needs. We're going to need a chest over here. I'm low on... No, I'm not low on chests. I've got plenty of them. Alright. And we're going to build a nice little storage area. And a nice little area for the storing of the workbenches. I'll actually just grab this one and move it over. How are we doing on tools at the moment? I do have some that are just doing their own thing. Wait a sec. Oh, you are storing. This is one of the really fancy bots that I did. Alright. Okay. Alright. We could copy and paste this guy. The only problem is the find nearest crude flail, but that's not too bad. Alright. Now the problem with uploading this guy is you have to upload him to sort of get that code, and then immediately after I want to delete him from the bot database. Although we could leave him in as a template. Tool maker template. Let's give this a shot. Alright, so you are scratch that. This thing needs 3 different ingredients, doesn't it? 3 different ingredients. Yeah, okay. That's not gonna work. There's no way we can have one bot do all of that. We could... Alright, so... Alright, here's what we'll do. We'll get this guy to be the crude blade guy. And... No. This one. We'll get this guy to be the crude blade guy. For this, move to until crude workbench 10 is alright. Now that guy won't be able to... What did we call him? Chisel maker. That's kind of a stupid name, but whatever. That's basically covering everything he's doing. Alright. So then we need chisel maker. Other stuff. Okay, we're getting into terrible names here. Alright. We're not going to need that many chisels. I mean, later, a lot later, chisels, like rough stone blocks, are going to be an ingredient for other things, for research, but not for a long time. And those are not far away. Okay. Repeat forever. This is going to break if it's got anything in its hand, but whatever. Okay. Now, find nearest crude chisel and mallet. Alright, let's give this guy a shot. I think I've done that correctly, but I don't know. Alright, so he's got nothing in his hand, so he's not going to do anything. Alright. Now he's going to stand here for a long time, because he has to go through all the crude blades, and then... Good work. This is good workbench too. If hand's empty. Alright, you know what? I feel like that's going to be fine. Okay. Let's put those into the tool maker and yeah. And we'll just get this guy to grab it if his hands are empty. That's right. I was just thinking, why aren't we doing research yet? Why are we getting sidetracked on bloody rough stone blocks? But yeah, we actually need them to do all this stuff. Hard rock mass in here. Damn, that takes forever. It takes a long time. Okay. Repeat until... You know what? Repeat forever. Well, actually, if we just repeat forever, are the rough stone blocks going to despawn? Possibly. Which I'm not sure I like. You can, once you get metal pickaxes, you can pick the stone deposits, and then you can get rough stone blocks from there. We don't really have... We've got another stone deposit down there. We could, like, pick half of these or something like that. That's not a bad idea. Anyway, let's just do it like this. Chiseler. Not sure if that's how you spell chiseler, but collector. And of course I've got a chisel in my hand now, so I won't be able to do anything. Alright, yep, that guy's storing all the things there. Beautiful. Alright. We should have at least one here. There we go. I'm sure there's a rotate command somewhere in this game that I've just forgotten, but... Alright, until hands full, although I don't know if there's any bot in this game that can pick up more than one of these. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not, but then again, I don't really get to the end game level 4 metal bots all that often. And we're just going to create an RSB team because, I mean, you got to put them in some team, and you might as, I mean, you can't really put them in another team. All right, there we go, rough stone block, and we're starting to enter the part of the game where moving blocks is very slow. Moving stuff is very slow. Eventually, you get to the point where you're like 4 times slower than that. And the bots are a bit faster, but even they are extremely slow, and that's where you need to get stuff like wagons and transportation and stuff. Alright. Let's have a look and see if we want to prioritize any research. We've already got level 3, or the next level of robots, right? Yeah, Mark 2. We already got Mark 2 robots. That gives us something to work on while we get through the research. Stone Cottage is an obvious one. Basic vehicles. I mean, that's got some nice pathing in it. I think laying down some pathing. I kind of want to save up for the best pathing, but then again, that's still going to be a little while. So, string we're going to need next. Better tree growth is nice. I don't know. Let's just start going through them. Let's just start. It doesn't really matter what we research as long as we have something on the go all the time. Okay. Oops. Let's have a go here. And what we'll do is we'll just leave the researcher and the love collector doing what they're doing at this point, and they'll slowly go through the WOV times 10 stockpiles. They'll collect all this crap that's on the ground, and it'll slowly get put into actual research. And there's probably enough to actually finish off this research, and then once that's done, then we can switch them over to actually picking up the new love. And even if we start collecting a bunch of it, start really stacking it up, we will have a use for it. We'll definitely have a use for it eventually. All right, so what are we doing now? We've gone through a stream for about an hour. It's pretty good so far. We've got level 3, level 4, stage 5, whatever. We've got our research going again. Let's do a quick bee's nest. That's going to be pain, crude torch. I think that's going to be fine. Dung, weeds, crude blade, stone, tree seeds. A lot of these are actually pretty simple. All right, dung, crude torch, and bee's nest. There we go. All right, let's pick up some dung, and we need a bee's nest and a torch. Just get them out of the way nice and early, because otherwise you get to the point where it's just like the last research and you're just like, oh, why didn't I take care of that earlier? But I think our next major focus will probably be Mark II robots. I think that the sooner we get them done, the better. Wood is okay. Switching over to Mark II robots will kill it. Will absolutely kill our wood supply. It'll destroy it like you would not believe. Here we go. But it's got to be done. It's got to be done. And what we can do is we can upgrade all of the wood bots first into Mark III, and then they will basically do better. And we might start giving them upgrades. I thought about... of course, I got so many tools in my hand that I have to leave one of them behind. Because I should always keep a shovel in my inventory, but an axe, not so much. Although having said that, we are due for a good backpack upgrade. We are definitely due for one. What was the third? It was a torch, wasn't it? It was a crude torch. Okay. Let's go over and get my mallet. Where did I drop it? It's probably over here somewhere. Because I hate littering. Like, I don't know why I'm such a clean freak in this game, because I'm definitely not a clean freak in real life, but yeah. Alright, am I dropping this off? Please drop it off, thank you. But yeah, I like to keep things clean. Like, if I walk past this area in an hour or so and I see a random mallet there, I'm just gonna be like, why didn't I take care of this? It comes from playing Factorio, because with Factorio everything is nice and clean. Like, if you're going to be building mega bases, you better make sure everything is nice and clean, because if it's not nice and clean, it's spaghetti and everything starts grinding to a halt. Whereas in this game you can leave a bunch of holes just lying around and it's fine. But in Factorio, if you leave a bunch of buildings just lying around and you look at it, then it's just like spaghetti. And it drives you crazy. So, yeah. Alright. We've picked up all that love off the ground. Love collector. Let's change that. There we go. We'll move that a bit out of the way. Let's go make a torch over here. Let's do a quick check. We've got a bunch of these. We definitely need a few more of these. Get a few more of those as well. Flooring 22, that's not too bad. We'll get some better flooring in a sec, which I will actually start. Alright, before we do anything else, let's see if we can get a backpack upgrade. Box frame. Oh, box frame. We don't need box frames for Mark II robots, do we? I'm pretty sure we don't. Let's have a look down here. No. It does need a whole bunch of stuff. Like, a good gear is a panel. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 panels per robot. It's gonna kill our wood supply so bad. It's not even funny. It's gonna absolutely annihilate our wood supply. Let's get rid of this axe. This axe is just annoying me. I really do want. We're gonna make one box frame so that we can. I think I complained about this last stream where I couldn't get a box frame because I hadn't... Oh, that's a bot backpack upgrade. Okay, that's confusing. Looks exactly like a regular backpack. There's a super one? I'm confused. The good one requires a box frame and the super one requires a box frame. That's just... Who miscoded this? This should be square frame. Okay, this should be a square frame. That would be a beautiful progression. Instead, it's a box frame. I don't know who decided that. I don't even have it unlocked. This is like the second time I've gone to make a better backpack upgrade, only to realize that the thing I need to make it, I don't even have yet. Can we make a skateboard? I would like a... No, we can't make a skateboard. Can we... Where's my better data disk? We don't even... Good data storage. Surely we can make that. Not that I really need it anymore, but... Anyway, whatever. Oh. I'm so ruffled. I'm so ruffled at this point. This is what happens when I don't have goals, and I just sort of fluff my way through the game. Okay, let's take a step back. Let's have a look at the next stage of research and see if there's anything we can do right now to sort of move in that direction, or if we just go for bots. This takes wool, which requires sheep. Thread, which requires string, which requires weeds, so that's fine. Wooden buttons, which require pegs, so that's fine. Alright, so we got one thing, which is sheep. So sheep is going to be a big deal. And that's going to take a lot of work to get set up. String, bulrush cloth, that's fine. We don't need to worry about that. That's easy. Food, berry jam, honey. Okay, so that's bees. That's a bit of work as well. And then the house. So we got bees and we've got sheep. Sheep and bees. And then stone cottage is... So we've got mortar. We still need research to do that, so... Yeah. And then we've got window frame and door frame, but that's just a lot of obscene wood products. This is again mortar. Mortar is just clay, sand, and fresh water. So it's not too bad. And a mortar mixer, which is fine. Alright. Bees and sheep, though. And sheep probably require the biggest pain. I'm going to be honest. Sheep are quite painful. So we've got a nice little clothing setup here. I could probably set up sheep here, or maybe a bit over here. It's not too far away. Get a nice big paddock. I'm not sure exactly. The sheep go through a lot of grass. Later on you can make hay and put the hay in bales, and then they don't need a huge amount of room, but until we get the hay sorted out, which can take a little while, then they kind of need their own sort of paddock. So yeah, let's just double check with the grass. Grass, You put cut grass onto soil. Okay. We're going to start this well ahead of time, I think. We're going to get a level 2 bot. And we're going to just get a big old field. And we're going to start digging it out. If hands empty. Before they do that, we're going to have a rough plan of where we want it. I know it's set around here, but we got to think about the good thing about everything else, like toys and medicine, all the other crap that we need later on. Oh, these just list the houses. But yeah, toys, they don't take up a lot of room. This doesn't take a lot of room. You just need to be near a swamp. And this doesn't... They don't take up a lot of room. They just use a lot of weird ingredients. So, I think a nice pasture over here gives us a bit more room to work with clothing here. And then toys we can squeeze in. Like, we can squeeze in here. We'd probably squeeze in medicine over here. Art we can squeeze in wherever. Depends on where we put the bees. Because the bees require flowers to make honey, and you use flowers to make paints which make art. So I think here, I think if we put it here, it's not too far away for where we need it, and we'll need some products as well for cooking. We can put some advanced little cereal cooking down here, and then we get the milk and the eggs and stuff, and we'll move it from there over to here. So we won't put it here because that's a bit too squishy, but we'll put it here. All right. Where's my robot? Okay. Hopefully, we'll give ourselves a bit more room, because once we put it down, I don't really want to move it. Having said that, this is not too big. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. We could fit clothing over here. We could fit toys here if we wanted. And that's not too far away. Okay, so that's a decent size. Okay. Let's go ahead, get rid of these flowers, get rid of these berries. And we'll need a nice wooden fence to put around this area as well, because sheep don't... They need to have a wooden fence around them, otherwise they don't feel like they're penned. And I think being penned sort of makes them more likely to give wool and stuff like that. I think they do it when they're out in the wild, but they don't do it as often. Paint coloured frames on the ground. I have seen that in videos. Possibly your video, but I've never done that before. I'm sure. What's oh, down. Why do I have a shovel in my hand? I should not have a shovel in my hand. All right. Where's the option for that? Oh, it's one of these, isn't it? Area select properties nodes. No. Oh, here it is, planning mode. All right. Whoops. Area. Oops. All right. Select. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. All right. The problem with that is I don't know what area I selected this. What are you doing over here? Okay, so that's your top right. Okay, so we go to planning. And what was your area? 3 across from that. All right. 17 times 16. Something has gone. Oh, here we go. All right. Beautiful. There we go. Done. We'll see if we use that a bit more going forward. Okay, good. So now we need a bunch of different fences. We'll just use our crude fence because we can make a lot of that using the products that we have. I think if you do this, then they can't build the fence in the middle anymore. So we'll do it like this. And a bit like that, a bit like that. And we'll need a few gates here and there. And you've done a bunch of good stuff with this. All of these little storages. No, do not keep that going. I want that going. Control P. Oh, very nice. Alright, let's see. So we've got some fences, we've got this stuff going on. You know what, I'm just going to go on a rampage and dig up these berry bushes because they are very, very annoying at the moment. I just want to keep building stuff and it seems like every time I want to do something there's a berry bush in the way. Okay, how's our research going? We're down to only 30 of that. It's another few minutes and that'll be tapped out and then we can go and we can update those colonist robots and see how we're going. Alright. How long does it take to dig up a berry bush? We can start to get some grass planted as well, I think. Let's have a look actually. Feed, no, it's not called a hay feeder. Hay bale. I know what there's a structure in here that you use to feed animals. I have no idea what it's called. I have a feeling we won't get it for a while. There it is, trough. Stage 6 research. Okay, never mind, we won't get that for a while. We'll just have to have grass. We'll just have to have a whole field of grass. And that's not too bad. A nice little grass storage there. You basically scythe the grass to cut it. There's a sheep waiting to be captured. You scythe the grass to cut it. You put it in the storage and then you just put it on the ground and it grows again. So it means, well, our scythes are down here. We could put animals down here, couldn't we? Actually, it's not a bad idea. Ooh. Just get all our wheelbarrows and stuff. Crude road. I like the idea of getting some crude road. What was it taking in? Stone and sand. We do have builder robots for both of those. So let's get some of those going. We'll upgrade those much later on to good roads, but for now, that's just one more stone miner, and suddenly we're just absolutely drowning in stone. That's the impact that one bot can have. You think to yourself, oh, I'm starving on stone. I better put 3 more bots there to mine stone. Nah, just one more bot and give it 15, 20 minutes or half an hour and suddenly, boom, your stone problems are all over. I lost my train of thought. We were talking about paths or something else. Yeah, we'll get some paths down. We were thinking about moving the animal thing down here. It's really not a bad idea because we need milk and eggs for this stuff and we need wool for the clothing. And we don't really need cloth products for anything else. Like, okay, you know what? I've changed my mind. We are going to move you over to here. It's right near the water as well. I don't think it matters that it's near the water. We'll need a little bit of room though. We'll need a little bit of room here for milk processing and wool processing and stuff like that, and then we can move it over there. That's good, I like it. And then we've got a lot more room down the bottom left to expand out for other things like wood or metal or something. This metal is a problem. We could squeeze a metal up here, Or we could now squeeze metal down here, and maybe metal down there would be a lot better. But anyway, there we go. Okay, do that. And now, because I'm such a clean freak, I have to fix up all of these guys again. That's all good. It's all good. And now we're... whatever. Alright. There's nothing else we need animal products for, is there? There's eggs, there's milk, and there's wool. So the wool we need for clothing, and the eggs and milk we need for cooking. Both of those are over on the southeast side of the map, relevant to where the colonists are. So it's really, yeah, it's really fine to just put the whole thing down there. We don't have enough terrain. I'm going to just ignore the other two spots. We're going to need to do a bit of cleaning up here. All right. So sheep was one thing. The other one was bees. Bees. Bees are flowers and honey and stuff like that. I'm going all over the place because now I'm just like, this would be a really good place for the flowers, because then you make the honey and you go over there and we can squeeze the art in here. Yeah, I mean, this would be a really good place for animals, because I want to have room for this to expand to the right. I want to have room for this to expand to the right. So if we need more, we can just expand them to the right. That's my game plan, just expand to the right. Flowers, I mean, honey... I don't really know. I'm kind of all over the place. I want to build flowers and honey here, and flowers and animals here. Okay, let's make these animals, because animals we're going to need for this. So making animals really close to this is going to be really helpful. Bees are a little bit more forgiving. You can put them out somewhere. This will be good for this. So where do we... Alright, so we need flowers for honey and for painting. Honey needs to go up there. So ideally want to put it there or there, but we kind of want room to expand. I'm not going to put anything up here because wood may expand by a lot. Wouldn't it be ironic if it ended up over there? Oh, that would be hilarious. To be fair, we could put it pretty much anywhere and start using transportation, but the problem with transportation is just a lot. It's just a lot of bots. You need an unloading bot, you need a loading bot, and you need a bot actually taking the wheelbarrow around. That's 3 bots you need, which is not great to just have 3 bots doing transportation with wagons. If you do 1 bot, then you got 1 bot taking a bucket halfway across the map. So everything's got to be close. I may have to start just making smaller plots. Just making... Because, yeah, we could probably make a very small plot for bees. But then we're going to need a lot of flowers, is the problem. We're going to need a lot of flowers for painting. There's a part of me that wants to copy this into the bot database so that I can download it to a new bot. And you know what? I'm gonna do it because it makes it a little bit quicker. The downside is I have to then delete it out of the bot database later on. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe I don't. Turf digger template. Alright, we'll just leave that like that. Okay. You know what? This is actually nice. This is actually nice. Alright, where do we want the... I'm going to put the flowers out a bit. Out a bit. Give us some room. There we go. And how's our paths going? Slowly. That's alright. That's alright. It is absolutely fine. You know, it isn't fine. We haven't gone through the rest of that research because I haven't actually activated any more research. Alright, I'm going to dig up the rest of these and then we're done. And then we'll go back and we'll figure out that research. We'll get the research going and we'll continue moving on. But at least we've planned out our two next areas. We've got not berries. We got bees and we've got farming. And those are the two big new builds that we need. Oh, you're just doing the top right. Okay, you're fine. Since we're talking about this, sheep is probably going to take the longest. Composting and fertilizer, we don't care about that. We will need a basic beehive to actually start doing this, so we might as well get that going. Alright. Wish there was some sort of alarm so you could say, alright, this chest is empty. But then again, that's very advanced Factorio stuff, so it's probably fine that it's not in this game. Excuse me if I keep comparing this to Factorio. But it is just in my blood. It is in my very soul, Factorio. Okay, let's have a look here. Alright, let's revisit lumber, because we're just about to start level Mark 2 bots. Level 3 bots, Mark 2 bots, whatever. Geez, our stone fell over. 5 minutes ago I was saying you add one more bot and you're overflowing with stone, and now we're out of stone. The fact that each crew road takes 8 stone is probably not helping. And, I mean, these... Not much else takes stone. I mean, this takes stone, but it's got to be those... I'm going to add a couple more caches to this. And I think we definitely want a lot of paths. So, yeah, we definitely want a lot of paths. Please tell me I've got one of these. Beautiful. So we're going to give ourselves one more stone miner. Let's have a look, actually. We're halfway through, and we haven't reached the halfway point of the bots, which is nice. It means we're at a good, steady pace. But then again, we are struggling to do a lot of... Although all of these are backed up. Let's have a think about when we want to switch over to Mark 2 bots. Because it's going to be a huge hit to our wood. And if I just go into it blindly without really thinking about what I'm doing, then it's going to be a hit that'll just kill our wood supply. And that'll slow down everything. It'll, half of these will be empty. We'll probably empty out on logs. We just won't be able to build anything. And suddenly, everything will be down the toilet. And it'll slow down our production of everything else. Okay. Planks. I was waiting for that to happen, but it has finally happened. Alright. Move to plank storage. And find nearest log cabin. Let me have a look at you. Where are you? Oh, stop, drop, go. Of course he had a log in his hand. Why not? It's still not actually too bad. We got a lot of logs in there, but yeah, this forestry area is definitely struggling. Okay, so we got 0 here. Our researcher has nothing. A love collector. Let's start. Now, I don't think we need to reset this. I think it should just reset by itself. when we drop something in. And it renames the storage, so we don't even need to change that. And then the researcher just works automatically. Beautiful. That is one of the things I like about this game, that you can just do stuff like that. And the people taken out of that chest, they just automatically start working. And now that we're using 100 WAV, this research is going to start to go very, very quickly. So let's get that crude torch made, because that's the main complicated thing. I say complicated, but it's the main thing that we actually need to go and pick up from somewhere. Okay, 2, 3, 4. And yeah, now we need to go and massage this area a bit, because this guy's going to have trees that he needs to chop down. In the past, I've just sort of made a bot to take care of all that, but I think I'll just go and chop it down manually. There's just a few trees. Chop it down manually, move the logs off to the side. Should be fine. Alright. Just, what was it, like 10 minutes ago I was saying how I don't need an axe in my hand everywhere, but oh man, I wish I had a better backpack. I wish. What ratio? That's actually a fairly decent amount of trees. And we need to do the trees outside as well. You know what? I'm just going to cut them down manually, and while we're doing that, I'll have a think about what I want to do next. It's got to be bots. I mean, I think it just has to be bots, and I think we just have to take the hit. Ooh. Okay, that's a nice time for our research to drop. We did say it was going to be quick. How many? I only got 7 in there, so we can let that build up a little bit. This would actually be a good time to have that thing on, building area, because that's one of the things that does annoy me, not being able to see, because I'm trying to chop out the area that the bot is digging up, and I'm like, what's that area again? I don't know. Okay, so that makes it a lot easier. Alright. What's the chance my shovel breaks before I get to actually chop up all these stumps, dig up all these stumps? Probably very high. Okay, we'll get rid of the edge as well, gives us room for the fencing. You can see the bulrush is doing very well. Seeds are at 92, this one's at 25. That actually stores a lot, but yeah, that's a very nice, healthy bit of bulrush. Togas are backed up, food is backed up. Yeah, so we're overproducing for our colors need, even though we've only got 1 machine of each type. Which is the great thing about settlement mode. You're beautiful. You're just beautiful with all this stuff. Although having said that, even in enlightenment mode, I still think I only had 1 machine making togas. They use up togas very slowly. Food they use up a bit faster. But clothing, toys, all that sort of stuff, it takes ages for them to use that up. This guy is going pretty fast. I do like that. I need to think about this robot decision. Okay, so let's put it this way. Our base is running. We're churning through research at this point. If we start getting better robots, our wood is going to die fairly quickly, but we can put all our focus into upgrading the existing bots. Whether or not upgrading the existing bots it's not going to make it so fast that our wood is no longer dying. Like shifting from Mark 1 bots to Mark 2 bots is not going to suddenly make this produce twice as fast. Because it'll make it produce a bit faster, but you can see this patch is pretty small in terms of lumber. So it's still going to be a bit of a pain. So we're going to have to sort of say, when we move over to Mark II bots, we are going to be putting ourselves in a bit of a wood drought for a decent period of time. It depends on how fast we want to upgrade all the bots. If we want to upgrade every single bot, that's 120 bots. That's 480 panels. Okay, our entire wood died making 40 panels. 480 panels is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This is the sort of thing where normally, if I'm playing Autonauts, I'd set it up and I'd say, okay, they're making bots, they're upgrading bots. Go away, watch a movie for 2 hours, come back. Okay, they've upgraded half the bots. All right, go away, have dinner, watch another movie for 2 hours, come back. Okay, all the bots are upgraded. Now, because we're doing a chill stream, I don't leave this running offline. If it gets to be incredibly painful, we might start doing that, but we could. I mean, let's put it this way. We may. All right, here's an idea. Let's not even make Mark II bots. Let's just skip to Mark III bots. That's an interesting idea. The main reason I would upgrade all of my bots are movement speed. That's pretty much it. Increased movement speed. Yeah, it's really the only. Some existing ones as well, like tool makers. You could suddenly, if you've got a really complicated tool being made, you can convert two bots into one bot. But other than that, just movement speed, I would say. Plus is let's put it this way. The reason I would upgrade all bots is 30% movement speed and 70% me being a completely anal person who doesn't like to see two different types of bots in my base. He just wants everything upgraded. Yeah. But yes, having said that, with the state of our base at the moment, what I would probably do is, if I went to Mark II bots, I would upgrade all the wood ones, I would upgrade all the guys making planks and stuff like that. And I probably wouldn't go ahead and just start upgrading all the weed bots straight away. Like, I might upgrade them later. Having said that, yeah, I think we may just skip Mark II robots. Let's have a look, because Mark III robots, here's the problem. These guys require panels. Panels require square frames, and square frames require poles and planks. So there's a very long chain of things that all build up and then make and all this sort of stuff. Whereas the Mark IV robots down here, they require a crude metal plate, which is not really an equivalent, because a crude metal plate is just two chunks of crude metal. It's very, very simple. And crude metal, you just get by smelting metal ore. So it does need a lot of metal ore, but it's the chain, instead of it being like 4 or 5 steps where you need bots constantly going through, it's pretty straightforward. Metal poles, just blah. If we have a look, a metal gear, 2 metal, so it's expensive, but it's metal expensive. So it's not going to destroy our wood supply. And I'm pretty sure you can upgrade a wood, a Mark I bot from Mark I to Mark III. So I think that's something that we definitely need to entertain. And yeah, I think you're right, Rosman. We probably won't, we don't really need the speed right now. We can get to the, look, we're only 119. If something's slow, we just make another bot. Now, I'm not exactly sure if we're ever going to get to the point where we start really running out of bots. I may be overthinking this. Maybe we'll get to the end and we'll have like 270 bots and we'll get the end research and we'll just be done. But what I think is going to happen is if we do get to the point where we start running really low on bots and we just need more speed or anything, and we want to save ourselves from having to just sit there and wait for these Mark 1 bots to just beat our heads against the wall. At that point, when we're really running up against the bot limit, we should be at the point where we could just go ahead and directly make Mark 3 bots, and we just skip Mark 2 entirely. So, yeah. Yeah. To be honest, when I was playing Enlightenment mode, when I'm playing Autonauts normally, like, the most exciting part of it is upgrading the bots. Like, research is just a means to an end. For me, upgrading the bots is the end. Like, something about those little Mark II bots, they're just like running around and they're so small and they're just going crazy. It's just like, as soon as I get those, I just feel better. Like the Mark 0 bots, the little white ones, are just like walking piles of trash. They're just like walking trash bins. I see them and I'm just like, oh, I got to get out of here. And then I get the Mark 1 bots and I'm just like, okay, it's better. They're very, very tall and very lanky, and they kind of look, they're kind of doing their job, but they're kind of slow. They look a bit like a butler. Like one of those really old butlers that are just sort of wandering around the house with a tray and just sort of doing these things. It's like, yeah, whatever. And then you get the Mark II bots and they're just running around like crazy. And immediately I just feel better about my base. I'm just like, yes, Mark II bots. And then I get to the point where I'm just like, oh, do I need Mark III? And then I'm just like, you know what? At that point, I just want the game to be over. Because at that point, I'm just like, I'm so close to finishing the game. I just start cutting corners like crazy and building the minimum metal possible to actually get to the end of the game. And Mark III bots, I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, that feeling when every single bot is Mark II, I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, I think we've made our decision, and I think it is a good decision. We will keep with all of our Mark 1 bots, and if we get to the point where we need better bots, where we start reaching the bot limit, then we will definitely go straight for Mark 3 bots. Okay, good chat. Now, I've, of course, research stopped. Yes, naturally, research stopped. What do we want next? Better tree growth. Simple stone shaping. Okay, well, we might want that. So we're talking about sheep, so we might as well get some livestock tools. Although, what are these livestock tools that you speak of? Oh, yeah, okay. We definitely need the shears to get the wool off the sheep. Hedge? I don't remember hedges being in Enlightenment mode. Okay. I wonder if sheeps can eat hedges. It's an interesting question. I'm guessing not. They're probably like just different types of fencing. Although I imagine a sheep would be able to go through a fence, through a hedge if it really wanted to. How are these guys going? We've got some decent pathing going. Got some decent fencing going. Got some decent gates, and of course this is. That's actually an interesting question. Okay. So we got some signs. There is a sign called a good sign, which has a massive area. A massive area. It's like this big. It's huge. You get it. Let me actually have a look and show you. Yeah, good sign. This thing. You get this unlocked. Well, in Enlightenment mode, you have to do fishing to get it unlocked. It's some sort of fishing thing, which is really, really strange and annoying. But it seems like in this mode, you unlock it through actual research, which makes me very happy because I don't really like fishing, to be honest. You get a bunch of bots to do it, and you end up with a stack of fish like 1,000 high, and you never use it except for that really annoying achievement, which was like banquety or something like that, where you have to or make every type of high level food and then you chuck a few fish in there to make that. But anyway, let's have a look here. All right, so yeah, since we decided we're not going to make top level Mark II bots, and since we've already got the research going, we're kind of not really doing anything interesting for the rest of the stream. Okay. We need about 20 more, I'd say. And let's go over here and clean some of this up. Move the logs. I'm past the point where I want to maintain every single log and be like, oh, we've got to hold on to this log because we might need it. So we'll just chuck them over here. But it's going pretty good. Don't need that anymore. And we'll go ahead and we'll go get some grass planted here pretty soon. That'll be a good way to sort of finish off the stream. We'll get a nice little grass set up, get a guy planting some grass. I always just 100% plant the entire field. Later on, you get special milking bays for cows and special shearing stations for sheep. And then you can sort of say, you can sort of cut away the grass and put them in the middle and it's all good. But for now, it'll just be grass and, ooh, beautiful. It's done. Chuck those over on the side. Maybe I should invest in a second research bench, only so I don't have to keep running back to it, but it's not too bad. I mean, we do have a storage sort of backing up. It's actually backing up quite a fair bit. I don't even know what we're researching, just get it done. Get it done. And somehow I missed this tree before, right up in the corner. Looks like a new grown tree. I don't think new trees grow out in the wild. Maybe I'm wrong. This is another coal deposit over here. Very nice. We actually got quite a few coal deposits in nice locations. We got this one up here. We got this one down here. Usually coal is a bit of a pain in the ass to find, but in this map it's not too bad. Stone is a bit of a pain. We got stone there, and then that one's all the way over there. And then we got this one down here, which is not too far away, but it's over in the sort of farming area, whereas we'd want it to be more in the industrial area. Although having said that, I think for some of the mortar, this is actually not... so we've got clay, fresh water, stone. Having said that, mortar requires straw, and there's a kind of an ocean over here, so we could make this a kind of mortar area. Yeah, not a bad idea. Let's go take care of this tree. Can I chop this tree from the corner? Yes, I can. Alrighty, let's have a look. This is doing okay. It's doing pretty decent. This is almost full. This is completely full. These are all doing very well. It's all backed up. Robots are decent. Building all this sort of stuff. Other than me not having a nice backpack, we are doing okay. I'm gonna dig that up. Okay, so sheeps are well on their way. What happened here? You're still going? You have not done a lot. I gotta be honest. I would have thought you'd done a bit more than that. Ooh, good flail. I don't know how good it is, but Actually, oh, that's what I want. I'd love to get some good buckets going. Stage 6. Of course, it's stage 6. Where am I? Yeah. Get some good buckets going, because buckets are like good flails. They last a bit longer than regular flails, but good buckets, they just store 3 liquid instead of 1 liquid. It makes a huge difference, especially when transporting, using liquids and all that sort of stuff, because a bucket just having 1 in it, it's not great. Okay. Let's go and pick up a scythe. I'm assuming scythes will do the job. Yes, they will. Now I'm going to drop this and pick up the grass ASAP, because you leave grass on the ground for more than 5 seconds, some animal will come along and just pick it up. And now I've got a loose scythe all over the place. This actually works out because we've got scythe here already, and we need a scythe for cutting the grass, so that kind of works out nicely. Drop that off, then we'll get a bunch of bots to basically go on a grass planting spree. Okay, done. Nope, not quite enough. Put a double-sided gate. It looks a little bit janky, but whatever. Alright. Whatever. Okay. You are going to be grass. Yep. Hit the bloody caps lock. Alright. Grass cutter. Now this is kind of a temporary job, because once the grass is cut, it's kind of temporary. Let's put it this way. Eventually, we'll start to make hay and use that for animal feed, and you make hay from grass. So you will need to cut grass eventually as an ongoing period, but until we start making hay and putting it in a trough, this will be a temporary job. So what we'll do is we'll just record that repeat until crate full, repeat, done. And we can't chuck that back in the chest, unfortunate, but then we do grass collector. And hands full. And unlike most of our other builds where we have to make the collector's radius a bit wider than the actual cutter's radius, because we got fences, we can just make them exactly the same, because if you cut grass here, it's not going to spawn out over the other side of the fence, which is beautiful. Alright, grass collector, and then grass planter, until hands full, and then we're just going to fill up this entire area. Done. Get rid of this scythe. I wonder if there's a way you could make the... let's make a... Oh, no. Animals. I love having lots of groups. I was about to say the, was it the serial scythe mover? That's a bit complicated. I was wondering if there's a way to sort of say, keep putting it in there until it's 50% full. It's a bit complicated for that bot to handle with your current programming, but yeah. And then you always leave yourself a bit more room to put it back in afterwards. Alright. So, we just need to finish the fence off here. Once we finish the fence off here, then we can put an actual sheep in there. Come on, 2 more. Just need 2 more, and then we're good to go. There's one of them. And for some reason, this guy is just going nuts. I suppose most of this was dirt already, so he didn't have too much to do. Whereas this guy is just kind of taking a little while because he has to keep going and get a new shovel. He's still doing all right though, but yeah. And we're going to need a bunch of these skips actually. We'll make 4 of them just to be safe. We've got some paths as well. Nice, okay. Once again, the berries are getting in my way. Where am I at the moment? Dropping off that scythe. Let's go ahead and get rid of that berry. You can see the bot automatically goes for the path. And he goes quite a bit faster on the path, which is very nice. So we'll be using paths a lot more in the future, especially for these long sort of transportation. And eventually we may get to the point where we just cover the floors entirely in paths. Okay, so this is just a builder, so we don't really need a path for him. But this guy who does water, definitely need to give him some speed. Alright. Look at this, it's already done. Almost done. Completely. Alright, wait a sec. RSB Chiseler. Okay. He must have exactly used up his chisel at the exact moment that this was filled up, which is why he doesn't have a chisel in his hand. I thought that was weird, but anyway. 2 more fences. Alright, we got all the fences we need. Now we have an enclosed space. Now we just need to go out and find some sheep. There was sheep around here. Oh, there it is. There you go. We're going to chuck him in here and he should start to get an icon over his head. Oh, it's an icon that says he needs to be sheared. Okay, that's not helpful. Oh, there we go. You can see on the bottom right, it says sheep penned. So when they're penned, they're a bit happier. What's your... Okay. For some reason he just skipped those 2 spots. I'm not sure why, but... So this guy will just stay there waiting to be sheared. For a long time, eventually he'll get sick of waiting and he'll stop. I think he'll stop needing to be sheared and then he'll go off and eat some more grass. But yeah, that's basically, you get a shearer, which is 2 crude blades put together, and then yeah, you get wool off him, and then we'll go on the wool path, the path of the wool. Okay, still got some cabins falling apart. How are these guys doing? Some of them have clothing, a lot, and some of them don't have a lot of clothing. So he's kind of... The clothing provider is doing an okay job. He's not doing a great job. Right now he's just sitting there, doing nothing. Okay. I guess it just doesn't flag that that guy needs clothing, even though his clothing barriers are like less than 10%. It is not being flagged that he's naked at the moment. Yeah. Well, that means we don't need another bot doing that job anyway, because another bot would not help us. Okay, you are done. Alright. Nothing else for you to do in this area, so we're going to get you to come back over here and get reset. And that's an interesting situation. okay. The template still stays there, even if you don't have any boss assigned to it. That's good to know. Alright. What was that? Control P for that thing. Beautiful. Alright. We definitely don't need that anymore, but yeah. Alright. So we're coming close to the end. Drop that, please. Come over here. Give me that shovel. And we'll return that shovel. So let's sort of talk about what we're going to be doing next episode. It's pretty much just finishing off this research, I guess, which is not going to take long at all because this research is going like crazy. Oh, here's a thing we need. All right, we need a guy to return all these clay pots. Clay. Repeat until hands full. That area looks pretty good. And then you're going to drop them right here. So you can't really drop them in the storage because the storage is going to be full. So what you do is you just drop them all there. And then this guy will automatically pick them up. The store will pick them up from here and drop them off. I will put that guy in the colonist area. And I'm not sure if it's 100% return rate on the pots. I think it is. It's a bit of a bad cough. But I think it might be. But let's put it this way. It's 100% return rate on the pots. But you kind of get screwed here because you take 2 pots to make 1 berry jam, and then the berry jam, I think it returns a different type of pot. Yeah, it might return a jar. Wait a second, does that mean you get a free jar back without having to actually create one? Because of the way this works, I'm not sure. I should remember that from Enlightenment mode, but I don't quite. Anyway, let's go through it again. So, for everything we need for the next one, wooden buttons are easy. Thread, string comes from weeds, so it's easy. Wool blanket we're working on. To actually make the toy station, let's just make sure we don't get caught up on anything and we don't suddenly need metal for something we weren't expecting and be like, oh crap. Okay, so this is all very easy. The food, honey. So we're going to work on that next time. We're going to be planting a huge field full of flowers. We're going to be collecting some bees and putting them in the beehives. And then mortar. We also need mortar to make these guys. And mortar is just clay, sand, and fresh water. Which is annoying because sand and fresh water are never close to each other. Although this is not too bad. Clay, sand, and fresh water. This is actually not too bad. So maybe we'll put clay here. Mortar here. Or maybe further down here. We'll put it down here. Because this is a little bit too close. So we can kind of come around here. I was going to put it here, but... And then you got sand here, fresh water, clay. They're not too bad. None of these are too bad. They're all decent options. Yeah. They're all decent options. Alright. Okay, well anyway, how long have we've still got 2 minutes on my stream. Whatever. Maybe I should just quit early. No, what we should do is get some research done. We're doing so well with all this. Tree growth is another thing we may want to look into. I've always ignored it and just expanded, but if we can get trees growing faster in the tree planting areas, that may be a lifesaver. Doesn't need fertilizer though. We are going to have a decent supply of fertilizer from our animals, But this actually requires fertilizer. Like, just straight up requires it. Let me have a look. It doesn't really give you any more information about, yeah, seedling tray used to create but then what do you do with the seedling? That's the question. I suppose the research tells you, does it? No. Better tree growth. Alright, well, we're going to have to play around a little bit with that, because if we can get a lot faster tree growth in a lot smaller area, that will be very nice. That'll definitely be very nice. Yeah. But for now, we're doing pretty well. Everything is going pretty well. 21, 10 still, and almost got those knocked out. But that'll be stored for a while now because the storage is full. And yeah, wood is good. Everything is good. And wood will continue to be good because we're not making Mark II bots. But anyway, I think we will finish off the episode there. And wouldn't it be a laugh if we just got to the end of the game and we never even got close to 300 bots? If we just got to 250 and that was it. I don't think it's going to happen because when we start messing around with metal and we do a whole bunch of metal stuff, especially if we start switching over to metal tools, then we'll have to see how we go. Alright. Anyway, this has been Hairymuppet. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys next week.